Good morning, Brooke.
Erica, hi. Alice said that you called and told her that you would be dropping by. Sit down.
Thank you.
Would you like some coffee?
Oh, no, thank you. I'm here only long enough to drop off this donation for the homeless shelter.
Oh, well, we can certainly use it. You could have, just popped it in the mail.
No, this occasion called for a great deal more ceremony. This endowment is made on behalf of my mother. My mother earmarked this sum in her will, especially for the homeless shelter.
Oh, this is very generous. Oh, you know what? Mona, I think, probably put in more hours at the shelter than all of the other volunteers put together.
Well, that was my mother. She was an unsung heroine. And so I think it's only fitting that I continue the work.
Look, I have those parachutes you asked for.
This creature works for you? You traitor. You hired that? Well, I guess tempo certainly must have been sinking to a new all-time low. Guess you're taking on the tabloid format, complete with lurid headlines. Statue of Elvis found on Mars. You already have My Girl Friday as a demon.
I need to earn a living.
Yeah, so do pimps. And cutthroats and con artists. And I don't see any of them walking the halls.
Do you recall, I worked my tail off for you. I worked 18 hours a day running your home and your office.
We don't need a rundown of your resume right at this moment. You may go.
You're not going to let her talk you into firing me.
I said get out. Erica, let me explain about Kendall.
No, you cannot explain about Kendall. You know something, Brooke? All this time, I knew we weren't exactly friends, but I didn't think that we were exactly enemies.
No, on the contrary.
I mean, we have managed to coexist. I respected what you did here at Tempo. I know that you have respected the phenomenal success that my life is.
I've never disagreed with that.
Well, I think only a very, very demented person, no one in their right mind would hire that twisted creature.
I didn't hire her.
She doesn't merit a bed in a homeless shelter, let alone a paying job. Brooke, if this is some sort of a midlife crisis, then I suggest you call Dr. Clater immediately.
Erica, just shut up,
No,
all right?
I will not. I'm going to call the intruder. I'm going to boycott this magazine. I'm warning you. I demand that you fire that lowlife.
I would love nothing better than to throw Kendall Hart out on her duplicitous little behind, believe me.
Well, then why on earth did you hire her?
I didn't hire her.
Well, you have it all to say about who gets hired and fired. You're the editor-in-chief.
I have the position. I don't have total control. That belongs to the owner.
Well, fine. Then I'll give a piece of my mind to the owner. Oh, I can't wait to meet the idiot who hired that criminal.
Well, actually, you've already met. Kendall's mentor and champion happens to be our mutual ex-husband, Adam Chandler.
Don't you even hear, Joe? Gloria cannot tolerate any more stress.
And you're a walking prescription for a heart attack.
Who made you, appointed you her guardians? Please. That woman in there is my wife, and she's carrying my child. Now, I have every right to give my wife and my child my love and support. Now, what room is she in, Joe?
Just won't let it sink in, will you, Adam? I'm telling you, her condition is serious. She is stressed to her limit right now. Any further strain will increase her blood pressure to a dangerous level.
Well, why don't you do something about that? You doctors aren't good for anything but padding your fees and sounding false alarms.
Won't you just listen for 5 minutes? Listen to Joe. Do you want Gloria to lose the baby?
No, I do not.
Then shut up and listen to doctor's orders.
All right. Dr. Clater and I agree that Gloria should be confined to bed for the duration of her pregnancy.
Okay, bed rest. What else?
I'm talking bed rest. I'm not talking being there napping. I'm talking about being in bed around the clock.
Fine. Whatever it takes to ensure the health of my wife and child.
Whatever it takes. Well, where was this concern last night when you bullied her into a collapse?
If you had put your wife and baby's needs ahead of your own, she wouldn't have anything to worry about right now.
Oh, I see as always. It's all my fault. Isn't that getting a trifle stale? All right, if Gloria needs rest as a steady diet, so be it. I'll put on my best bedside manner and show my wife that my love for her is as strong as ever.
Well, the last I checked, breaking and entering wasn't exactly the best way to say I love you.
And next time you want to worry her into a
I
frenzy...
don't need to defend myself or my actions to anyone. I came here to see Gloria, and that's what I intend to do.
Adam foisted that sociopath on you? Well, I'll tell you, that's a fate I wouldn't wish on, well, on you.
Oh, I'm touched.
What did you do to deserve such cruel and unreasonable punishment?
Adam blames me for losing Gloria, for spending time in prison, and basically having a life that's an empty hell.
So Adam is still pining away for Gloria?
I think Gloria was the best thing to happen to Adam in years, and he blew it. So he bought Tempo so that he could stick it to me every chance he gets.
Oh, isn't that just nice? Adam gets his revenge, and Kendall Hart gets a slap on the wrist and a cushy job.
Well, listen, it wasn't my idea.
Well, isn't this just like your life? You've got the position, but you don't have the power.
Listen, you have to pick your battles. You know, I've had to fight tooth and claw in order just to maintain editorial control
Yeah,
here.
with pitiful results.
Oh, well, at least I have Tempo. You can't say the same about Enchantment, can you?
I refuse to sit back and watch Alec McIntyre bastardize my brilliant vision.
Well, sometimes people rather fight than switch.
And sometimes people know when to cut their losses and move on. And I chose to move on with my life, and I was brilliant enough to reinvent myself and emerge triumphant.
Oh, yeah. I hear you mince your way down the runway without falling flat on your face. Congratulations.
You know, why do I waste my breath? You've never been smart enough to stand up to Adam Chandler.
Well, at least I was smart enough not to marry him twice.
Well, you were not smart enough to avoid being saddled with that monster. Look, I don't know why I'm talking to you anyhow. You don't have the power. I'm not going to waste my time. I will speak to your superior when he returns. He's the one with the power. What time is Adam coming back?
I'm his editor, not his keeper.
Well, when your boss returns to punch your time card, will you please tell him that Kendall Hart's former employer wishes to file a grievance?
He'll get back to you.
You know something, Brooke, if I were you, I would cash that check immediately. Because otherwise, the way your career looks like it's going, you're going to spend your Christmas in a homeless shelter yourself.
Brooke English.
Brooke, it's Dixie. We've got trouble.
What happened?
Adam found out Gloria's pregnant, and he's freaking her out in the worst way. Joe admitted her to the hospital last night.
Is she all right?
Well, physically, she and the baby are fine, but otherwise, Gloria is a wreck. Tad and I thought you might want to know.
Yes, thank you. All right, I'll be there as soon as I can. Oh, Adam. Erica thinks I can't handle you? Well, you just wait.
You really think I'm exaggerating Gloria's condition just to keep the two of you apart?
Yes, exactly. You're forgetting that I lived with a woman.
No, but we're trying.
Gloria is as healthy as a horse. You make her out to be some sort of fragile Victorian maiden prone to attacks of the vapors.
You saw her pass out last night with your own eyes.
Your house was hotter than blazes.
Oh.
Maybe that's why she passed out.
So it has nothing to do with the fact that you browbeat her into coming home with you.
But point number one, I did not browbeat her. I was very gentle with her. And point number two, in the odd event that I might bellow at her, she bellows right back. Any woman who can stand up to me against half this town can stand up to 5 minutes attention from a loving husband.
Loving husband.
Adam, listen to me. Gloria's pregnancy is complicated, and your presence is only going to worsen her condition.
What would your trustees say if they knew you were misusing your position as chief of staff to harass this hospital's biggest benefactor?
My father works very hard to save people's lives. Harassing them is your department. So do us all a favor. Most of all, Gloria, and just go straight to hell.
Don't think I don't know what you're up to.
Excuse me.
You and your sanctimonious father and Dixie, you're conspiring to keep me away from my child.
Well, where do I sign up?
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
My wife is pregnant. She needs me.
Is Gloria all right? Can I see her?
After I get rid of him?
Brooke, you had a problem pregnancy of your own. You know what it's like to be alone and vulnerable when you're pregnant.
Gloria is not alone. She has friends who have known about this pregnancy from the very first, who've been with her day and night helping her to cope.
You knew it? Is there anybody in this town who doesn't know my wife is carrying my child?
You were the very last, Adam. And for Gloria's sake and that baby's, I wish you had never found out.
You kept Gloria's pregnancy from me?
It wasn't my secret to tell.
I don't have a right to know my wife is carrying my child.
Well, I think you're finally catching on, Adam.
The child is half mine.
Half yours. It's always all or nothing with you, isn't it? I guess you'll have to get used to nothing.
I will not be denied what is rightfully mine.
You should hear yourself. You're talking about a life like it's a piece of property.
I don't think Adam knows the difference. His children, even this unborn little baby, it's like they're possessions with him. They're items to be cataloged and put away and forgotten. And ultimately, they abandon you. They cut the cord, they leave the front door key on the table, and they walk out the door.
That's not true.
It's not true. When was the last time you heard from Sky?
Charlie
even
tells me that Haley pulled a gun on you. Is that right, Adam?
Haley loves me. And so does Adam Jr.
Junior can't stand the sight of you. Next thing you know, I'll be asking to have his name changed.
I guess you're in desperate need of replacements, right, Adam?
Sure. New baby to bounce on your knee? Somebody that doesn't know about your criminal record?
And this baby will grow up. Eventually, he'll leave. And then it'll be time to crank out another and another. I mean, in the end, I think they could probably populate a town with the children who have grown up and grown wise and got out where they still had a chance. But you know what? Gloria's baby is going to have this chance, too.
I love my children deeply. Brooke, you more than anyone know the agony of loving a child and losing it. I would expect this brand of cruelty from him, but not from you.
Cruelty? You want to talk about cruelty? You know what that is? That's foisting yourself on someone, all in the name of love, when you don't have the first clue about what love is.
That's a lie.
You love Gloria? Why don't you prove it? Why don't you just leave her alone?
You can't. He's convinced we're all part of some conspiracy to keep her from him.
Well, I certainly am not a conspiracy. I just happen to help the people that you love to torment.
For the last time, Gloria doesn't want to see you. Your relationship is over. It's finished. Now, why don't you walk out of here quietly before I have security escort you out?
Think we got rid of it?
What do you think?
Adam being Adam? Oh, he'll be back.